How do you say I'm going to fucking kill your ass in Cantonese with the appropriate provincial accent? I need to know. Okay, I ain't going out there yet, so we're gonna do two things. So I can remember how the goddamn phone works.
Welcome to For the City of Toronto, press 1. For York Durham, press 2. For Dufferin Innisfil, press 3. For Halton Peel, press 4. For Niagara...
I know I programmed that in there.
For the forecast for the next 7 days...
No.
Weather conditions at 9 a.m. Toronto International Airport, mostly cloudy, temperature +3, relative humidity 76%, wind west-northwest 7 kilometers per hour, barometric pressure 102.2 kilopascals, and rising. Toronto, downtown, temperature +3, relative humidity 67%, barometric pressure 102.2 kilopascals, and rising. Toronto City Centre Airport, cloudy,
nice right
temperature +3, relative humidity 78%, wind west-southwest 11 kilometers per hour, barometric pressure 102.2 kilopascals. For the forecast for the next 7 days, press 1.
Oh, that was faster than I thought it would be.
Hello, and welcome to Toronto Public Library's Style Story. If you wish to hear a story for younger children, press 1. If you wish to hear a story for older children, press 2. If you wish to hear the Nutcracker, press 3.
Well, we don't want
Otherwise,
that.
hold for a story for younger children. Or to return to the previous menu, press star. Chez Envie, écrit par Robert Munch, illustré par Michael Marchenko et publié aux éditions La Courte Échelle, Montréal. Un jour, Pascal, son papa et sa maman se préparent à rendre visite aux grands-parents de Pascal. Avant de monter en voiture, sa maman lui demande « Pascal, est-ce que tu dois aller faire pipi ?»« Non, 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 répond Pascal. Son papa lui demande alors très lentement et très clairement « Pascal,
Okay, you know what?
est-ce que tu dois
We're gonna
aller
skip straight to the
faire
fucking business report because that just got really creepy really fast.
But they should have named it 5 times for all its 5 boroughs. Manhattan, Queens, Staten Island,
9 o'clock in the morning, where you gonna be? Don't make me have to warn you.
So much to see with so many non-stop flights a day on Porter Airlines. Just name your time and book at
6 around 6 on the 6th. Got a bone to pick every thought my dome is sick.
Flying refined.
Eat well, live better. Hi, I'm Miranda Malasani, spokesperson at Nature's Emporium. 100% certified organic produce, fresh made meals daily, and smart options down every aisle. From nutrient-dense to allergy-friendly to eco-conscious. Nature's Emporium is
I'm not closing his eye to look cool, eh? I can't
Plus, we
fucking...
offer clean cosmetics, York and Halton region's largest selection of nutraceuticals, and a team of health professionals in all 4
I don't know what the
locations.
fuck's going on.
Visit today, naturesemporium.com.
680 News Time, 9:56.
Now, the 680 News Business Report. Here's Mike Ethel.
Hey, Sarah, good morning. Good starts on the midweek trading session this morning on major markets. We've already got some records on both Bay and Wall Streets. The pre-market trading on Wall Street was somewhat interesting. Consider that the Dow Futures Index was pointing to a loss of anywhere from 75 to 80 points. And indeed, the Dow opened down by that much and then quickly turned to the positive as the so-called herd mentality seems to be in effect here, with analysts kind of scratching their heads about the initial gains that we've seen this year on companies like Tesla with no specific earnings or announcements. That stock is just...
When I say this, people think I'm fucking stupid, but these analysts say it makes sense.
And investors piling in as interest rates remain very low. They've been buying
no
bonds
revenue
by the bushel because that's how you buy bonds. And we are also watching...
I need a bushel of bonds, please.
Been okay to start the
bear bonds,
results, including yesterday's JP Morgan Chase update, and this morning we had the Bank of America.
Set up almost exactly just right.
On its earnings had some one-time hits due to some legal issues, but at the same time, the operating earnings were close to expectations. Bay Street, I should also mention today at 11:30, we'll have that signing ceremony at the White House for the U.S.-China trade deal. And even though they're not removing any tariffs in the short term, nevertheless, it is seen as an economic positive. The TSX is adding...
And this is why I don't fucking like drama teacher Trudeau. Why the fuck did you get in the middle of the U.S. and China, you stupid fuck, and Iran, you stupid fuck? Look what you did. You got 2 fucking Canadians locked up and another 56 or 57 killed.
The share price is moving to the upside by...
You fucking white boys always getting other people killed.
From Raymond James Financial to outperform, stock trading at $3.75, or Aurora Cannabis, which bottomed out this time yesterday morning, quickly turned to the positive and now is up another 6%, heavily traded on the TSX. We're also looking at the telecom sector, adding some...
You're running low on paper.
29 cents. Shaw is higher by 35 cents per share.
Not me, I got taxes easily. But you
from the U.S. Department of Energy coming up 10:30 this morning. The price for oil close to a 6-week low. $58 a barrel. At the Business Center,
unless you're in Alberta, then it's like $24.
New equipment for my business.
I want to increase my online sales. I wish I could expand my team.
I want to see my business move forward.
Things can move fast when you're in business. And at BDC, we understand entrepreneurs. With our 100% online small business loan, you could quickly make your project a reality. Go to bdc.ca/online loan. Apply in minutes and get up to $100,000 within 48 hours of approval. Apply now at bdc.ca/online loan.
A new series on CBC.
These are the 3 Marines you killed last night. As of today, you belong to me.
Am I being arrested?
Depends on what? On me.
A soldier makes a deadly mistake.
Now it's partly cloudy, 2 degrees. Fake out when it's cloudy and it's raining. Right now in downtown Toronto.
Black and red, blue bandanas and Dickies on. I don't give a fuck who this shit is on. It's going. I don't give a fuck who's flowing like a...
Fresh out the drink and I'm back, don't sell a west side up here, roller with the click of no felons, no telling what I do to get my fucking cash on, mash on, black market lows, get your brass on, fast on my feet, no fence, no chases, no lead, no cases, no bled, no cases, those dead, no traces, you don't wanna try me, no patience, headed to the eye, see you ready to die, see mask, gonna identify the holes in the high, when the ice in you. I don't play so when the knife breaks the skin. You can pray your fucking day, but it ain't no way you'll make it in. Take away your faith and friends, family, and what's left with unknown assailants. Lacing a slut step, I ain't a suspect. I ain't on the list, I'm a no-face killer. They don't know I exist. I have my 9mm situation, it's a drum. If my cap's back, all the decks, once they get done, cause my blood wants to capture with my motherfucking no-face mask on the rack market. Get your ass got my 9mm situation, it's a drum. If my cap's back, all the decks, once they get done, cause my blood wants to capture with my motherfucking no-face mask on the rack market. Get your ass on.
Crazier than a bag of fucking angel dust.
Leaving slugs, snuff the mango, fucking strangle. Bringing paper from every angle, leaving fangs, cutting tangle, leaving snitch on my ankles in the back of my side of the house. Don't even got a bounce, cause I'm clear up all the counts pronounced dead on the scene. The scene is clean, the scene's friend. Muzzle tattoo weapons, the police ain't even seen yet. Now who's next to die?
There's no such thing as a Glock 43, says the cop. That's funny. I didn't call it a Glock 43. How'd you know it was a Glock?
I get the way of survival. I know you ain't gonna try though. Can't reason with the cycle. Big my pose and my pose and my pose when the knife falls. Get my dough when I roll with gas to leave you very bitch. Every clip is making Coopers more to every bitch. Born to carry tricks. Born to give me toe tags. Born to nickel tackle and blow back over the phone man. I'm never made a situation getting rough. My gas back.
So I'll just interrupt for this public service announcement. The legal name that I bear, which is for a reason, transliterates from Dutch to English as from the graveyard. That's not a fucking joke. We're the fucking people that bury the bodies. It's not a fucking joke. That's why it's my fucking name. That's why people call me the coroner now and shit like that, eh? So just remember that. You're making us rich. You think you're gonna hurt me? Come hurt me. I want to see this. I'll fucking take some recording. I got this camera, and a camcorder. We can get some good shots of you trying to hurt me. We're gonna get some good shots. I don't know what comes up next, so I guess I'll just do that. Oh, you know what I should do? That makes me feel a little better.
Now that the drivers in the viral video have come forward.
Uh-oh.
That 12-second piece of dash cam video puzzling everyone from the most seasoned drivers to the officers who've seen it all.
I'm not puzzled.
Carrie Schmidt says
it's going to be gang related.
Have been spoken to, and the driver of the truck says
he didn't see what was happening in front of him and ended up pushing that car off to the shoulder. The investigation is still ongoing. Charges have not been laid.
Both drivers luckily unhurt. The impact of the sedan being ran right off the road, popping the back bumper right off. As for what's next, in the same breath that Schmidt saying the person who dropped the initial video, he's hoping there's more where that came from, detailing those few moments before.
There's no shortage of interesting situations that unfold in front of us.
I'm Mitch Burke. Well, mother and child have been reunited after a toddler was found alone wandering the streets of Oshawa this morning. Our Kevin Meisner with that story.
Durham police tell me the toddler was actually wandering in the roadway here at Stevenson and Bond Street just after 4 this morning when he was spotted by a driver who called 911. The boy, around 2 years of age, was only wearing a diaper, no boots, no coat, not even a shirt. No word on how the boy got outside, but this dad says toddlers are smart, including his 1-year-old.
I've seen that she's very curious about like how to open stuff, get into cupboards, get into like opening the doors and everything. She's right into everything. I'm pretty sure that's like another month or two away that she figures out how to pull down and open it up for sure.
Durham police say the toddler was cold and shivering, but otherwise he's in good health. They located the mom when she called police to report her son missing. A sergeant tells me the boy and his family live in a house not far from where the child was found. In Oshawa, I'm Kevin Meisner.
No injuries reported after gunshots were fired between a couple of cars in Richmond Hill. 680's Carl Hansky is out near Major Mac and Yellow with the story.
This is a very quiet and very quaint street here in Richmond Hill, but shots were fired here on Carrybrook Drive during some type of altercation between two drivers.
It's called a gunfight.
The wild car chase.
I heard one shot, and then the cars went by, and then I heard another shot.
Numerous shots were fired, and residents are relieved no
That's
strays
reserved.
hit their
One
houses.
shot at a time?
Bullet has no mercy, right? Could have gone into any of these houses here and hit anyone. You, your kids. Oh boy. The victim claims three males in the other car got out and fired several shots at his black Audi, which was struck several times as it raced away, eventually going off the road and striking a parked car. The 39-year-old victim hurt.
The point of running from a bullet if you can't drive, bro.
Ran from them because they didn't answer quick enough to the next house, where residents called police. In Richmond Hill.
How the fuck? Wait.
Portion of 680 News for Niagara Falls View Casino.
This man didn't have a cell phone in his Audi. His Audi went off the road. He didn't have a phone.
2019 with prices getting more expensive. And as we hear from Mike Hempel at the 680 Business Center, a lack of supply kept that market humming.
Houses and condos priced between $1 to $2 million saw a 25% jump in overall sales activity in the GTA last year. That's according to the Sotheby's International Canada year-end report, recovering from a lackluster 2018. North of $4 million sales activity steady at 228 deals for the year.
Pay that. I'd buy $100,000 houses before I fucking do that.
Listings down for all price points, and that put the sellers in the driver's seat, with buyers forced to pay.
I want the 15-car garage. I'm going to fill it with fucking Corolla.
Tells the Toronto Star that a risk going forward is City Hall possibly putting a surtax on luxury properties, which could lead to an anti-competitive city forcing top talent to look elsewhere for job opportunities.
John, these people ain't got jobs.
680 News Time, 10:08.
Their parents didn't even have to work. This is old money,
inductees have been announced. Here's President and
CEO
CEO
dealers buy $200,000 condos, not $2 million.
Here are the 2020 inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Depeche Mode, the Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, 9 Inch Nails, the Notorious B.I.G., and T-Rex.
I guess I'll be right there.
The 35th annual induction ceremony will take place in Cleveland this May.
And coming up in 30 seconds, a check on city streets along with the price of gas.
City News Time, 10:09.
The hottest show from Miami Beach is coming to Falls View Casino. Conga.
I don't know why I trip out on this song. It's never set off the copyright notice yet. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
The left lane is blocked for some construction work. And if you're traveling eastbound on King, just east of Spadina, keep in mind the right lane is closed now for construction. Now the 680 News gas price update and process. No change to the price of midnight tonight. It's going to hold again, probably at about $1.15.9.
680 News Time, 10:10.
Tell us about the 12-year-old indigenous girl and her grandfather that got handcuffed at a bank
Show my kids what's
in
important.
BC. That's what I want to hear about. BMO
To make a difference in someone's life.
and RCMP, because that's what the trolls out there. Why are you handcuffing a 12-year-old?
My mom,
My grandpa.
my neighbor,
Everyone who served.
who are serving still. Honoring veterans is our duty. Join today at legion.ca/join. Hi, I'm Adam, founder of NewBorrow.com, and I started our company after I got fed up with the mortgage loan process. Turns out I wasn't alone. Thousands of homeowners wanted help.
They went above and beyond to help me get a line of credit. It was amazing service.
They treated me like a valued client and outperformed anyone I spoke to.
Want to lower your mortgage payments and save a little money?
Use your home to get a loan with NewBorrow.
I'd like to see you people hurt me. I'd like to see it happen.
City News Time, 10:11.
Time now for traffic.
10:11.
Checking that drive this morning. Here's Eva Francescanos.
This report is brought to you by Queensway Audi. Northbound on the 404, just as you approach 16th, 2 right lanes are still closed off. That's all because of MTO crews working on some potholes through there. So definitely leave yourself some extra time. Northbound on the 404, Don Valley Parkway. It looks like it is moving a lot better through there right now. And I'm just looking at the cameras, and it does look like they're starting to clear out of there. So North 404 at 16th looks like they've wrapped up their pothole repairs. Everyone has left the scene, and things are moving much better. Southbound side on the 404 GBP, still slow. Elgin Mills to south of Major Mackenzie. That's just volume related. And then slows down again from Finch to south of Lawrence. Bit of a delay through Don Mills and again onto the Gardner Expressway. Eastbound Gardner, that's busy over the Humber Bridge all the way through to the Spadina ramp. Eastbound on the 401, it's busy east of Winston Churchill to east of Mavis, and then again a bit of a slowdown as you approach that southbound 427 ramp. On the westbound side of the 401, no issues to report at this time. It looks to be in pretty decent shape. And last check, northbound Spadina, north of Lakeshore, we had a stalled vehicle blocking a lane. Take winter by storm. Enjoy a $5,000 Audi Quattro credit on a 2019 Q7 and a complimentary maintenance package. Now at AviQueensway.ca.
I don't believe you, Mr. Government.
Here's the check on the forecast with Jill Taylor. Cloudy for Toronto and the GTA, and then snow tonight, beginning around 7 o'clock this evening, 2 to 5 centimeters. They're guaranteed high, +4, the low near 0. For tomorrow, mainly cloudy, windy, turning colder. Some flurries will fall in temperatures tomorrow. For today, the guaranteed high 4. Right now in downtown Toronto, it is 3 degrees.
$500 worth of fentanyl in a day.
Conditions at Pearson Airport.
Okay, they're addicted. I get that. They report that they're still in pain. That's not a painkiller.
Well, a good start to the day, Steve. The TSX hit an intraday high. It's up by 32, 17,384. Markets moving higher ahead of the signing of U.S.-China trade phase 1. Takes place a little over an hour from now. So the Dow up by 133, the S&P higher by 10, the NASDAQ up by 34. U.S. markets getting close to all-time highs. Gold right now up by $5, $15.50.
Give us the 500.
Oil
Did I
down
miss
22 cents, 58.01. And the Canadian dollar higher by 5 100ths, 76.61 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
The pavement lies before him. A street lamp lights the way. Such steady pace and lane control, his passengers will say, he brought us close together and we've had a merry time. While we drank beer and shooters, he ordered soda with lime. We hope he always joins us as we enjoy his company. A leader, a warrior, a man amongst men. For short, just call him DD. Who's your designated driver?
Arrive Alive Drive Sober and the Beer Store want you to plan a safe ride home so we all arrive alive.
Connect with an audience of over 200,000 looking to improve their home and garden this year. The GTA Home and Reno Show and the National Home Show are
15 million fucking people in this province.
Are running out. Connect with
I gotta get $1 out of each one of them. I gotta get
in a face-to-face setting
10
grow your business
a penny out of each one of them.
And reserve your spot today.
I'll be rolling.
Visit TorontoHomeShows.com/radio or call 416-644-5405 for more info.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. It's partly cloudy and 3 degrees downtown. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Steve Roberts.
And I'm Sarah Parris. Here are the top stories this hour.
Public elementary schools in Toronto and in York Region will be holding a one-day strike on Monday if contract talks continue to stall with the province. The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario says the key issues are more supports for students, while the government maintains the unions are simply looking for
Is there a strike Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday?
Meantime, the Education Minister has announced they will have a $60 a day subsidy for parents with younger children in school-based daycares that have to close when teachers walk out. It is some kind of subsidy that the province is trying to offer to cover up the to cover off the cost of paying for childcare if there are strikes. Coming up after sports, we will have a look.
So
at
they
some
will
new
spend money.
video
They
emerging
just
from
don't want to give it to
Iran
these
now,
motherfuckers.
showing that,
I think I understand where you're coming from, Mr.
Ukrainian
Ford.
by more than one missile before it crashed.
More than one.
Now time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Andrew
It says something for the design of the plane, because it started to make its way back. They're saying it got hit twice.
7-4 win over the Devils, but Chris Johnston can see a scenario where he goes back to the Marlies.
So much of this is contingent too on what happens at the trade deadline, and you know, we don't have a clear picture if they're going to make a trade, if they're going to move anybody out that's on that blue line. You know, once we see that, I think we'll have a better idea where this season's going for Rasmus and how many games he's going to get as a member of the Leafs.
Meanwhile, Jake Muzzin getting in some work as we speak at Ford Performance Center. Leafs will practice at noon. Austin Matthews, by the way, picked up his second career hat trick last night. He now has 34 goals. Marcus Gasol returns to the Raptors lineup tonight in Oklahoma City. He's missed the last 12 with a hamstring injury, tip-off at 8. One more for Larry Legend. According to Adam Schefter, Cardinals receiver Larry Fitzgerald is returning to play for his 17th season in Arizona. 4 years, $92 million for Josh Donaldson in Minnesota. The reported deal includes a 5th-year option that could make the total $100 million. And Dennis Shapovalov over Vasek Pospisil 6'4", 7'6" to reach the quarters of the ASP Classic in Auckland. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim Ensid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
And this portion of 680 News and 680 Sports has been brought to you today by Mercedes-Benz Newmarket.
When you aspire to driving a Mercedes-Benz, you've already made the decision that you want nothing but the best. And that's why your next decision should be Mercedes-Benz Newmarket.
New year, new offers. Right now at Mercedes-Benz Newmarket, come in and take advantage of select model year 19 and 20 savings with rates starting at 0.49% and cash incentives up to $10,000. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz Newmarket at Mulock, just west of the 404. Nothing but the best.
Are you struggling to lose weight? At the Bernstein Diet and Health Clinics, we've been helping people lose weight and feel great for over 40 years. And we can help you lose up to 20 pounds per month without exercise or diet pills. Whether you want to lose 10 pounds, 30 pounds, or more, our team of nurses and doctors will ensure that your weight loss is healthy and long-lasting. So stop struggling and start succeeding. Call us today at 1-888-DRB-DIET or visit drbdiet.com to learn more. 680 News Time, 10:18.
Well, some new video comes out appearing to show that the Ukrainian Airlines flight was actually hit by more than one missile. An Iranian official is now accusing the military of lying about what brought it down.
Today marks 1 week since the disaster.
You fuckers better sort it out amongst yourselves quickly.
By mistake by the Revolutionary Guard in Iran. Now the country's top diplomat admits even top officials were lied to for days following the incident.
Revolve,
very serious situation. The fact that it wasn't disclosed early enough.
Mohammad Javad Zarif speaking in India, revealing that he and Iran's president didn't know the truth until Friday. This, as new video verified by the New York Times, shows the flight was actually hit by 2 missiles, not just one. The plane, engulfed in flames, continues to fly for a short time even after both missiles hit. Everyone on board was killed, including almost 60 Canadians, several of them students. And there will be a moment of silence, 1 p.m. Eastern Time today at university campuses across Canada. I'm Jamie Pulfer.
Well, on the 2020 U.S. election watch, the 6 qualifying candidates in the Democratic primaries had a face-off in Iowa last night.
6 Democratic candidates sharing the stage at the first debate of 2020 hosted by CNN. The crisis in the Middle East front and center. Pete Buttigieg, who served overseas.
The next president is going to be confronted with national security challenges different in scope and in kind from anything we've seen before.
Candidates charging President Trump has made America less safe from the killing of Iran's top general, former Vice President Joe Biden.
Quite frankly, I think he's flat out lied about saying the reason he went after, the reason he made the strike was because our embassies were about to be bombed.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Coming up in 60 seconds, a look at traffic and your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 10:20.
Do you have unfiled taxes? Are you overwhelmed and stressed? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized,
I know what's going on.
confused, don't know where to start?
They think because of Trudeau, the Canadians jump whenever the Americans say so. We don't.
We deal with this every day.
Don't fucking treat it like that. You can have some problems from us. There's a lot of us.
Feldstein chartered
We
professional
look like
accountants now.
everybody else. The fuck you gonna find us? What's a Canadian look like,
Or visit
motherfucker?
markfeldstein.ca.
I know what a Persian looks like.
Shop the box stores for new garage doors.
Especially the political military types. Fuck, you stand out like fucking crazy.
For over 60 years. Free shop at home. Well-priced doors and openers and Dodds exclusive Platinum Series doors and other premium brands like CHI overhead doors. Contact Dodds now for a quote at DoddsDoors.com. Dodds, D-O-D-D-S. Remember, no one does it better than Dodds does. No one.
680 News Time, 10:21.
Better sort it out amongst yourselves.
Checking that drop this morning. Here's Eva Francescanos.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR.
This all goes back to this Huawei thing.
Expressway still slow over the Humber Bridge to the Spadina ramp. Northbound on Spadina North.
I laughed when China locked up those 2 Canadians. Good, fuck that.
Right now.
You knew what could happen working there.
Bit of a slowdown still as you make
Afraid
your way
of a
from
jail?
east
Don't
of
fucking
Winston
do something,
Churchill
go to
to
jail.
the east of Mavis, and then looking at the East Gardner.
Some motherfucker thinks they're going to shoot down a plane like it's
looks
funny.
pretty good. Westbound side of the 401 again, no issues to report.
And the story will just get covered up for 20 years. Blah, blah, blah. No, you're pissing off some people,
Finch all the way through to south of Lawrence, and then if you're eastbound on the QEW, got a little bit of volume starting to build again as you make your way from east of Mississauga Road all the way through to east of Cawthra. It looks like we've got a problem just east of Cawthra on the right shoulder. Not blocking the live lane, but definitely still causing a delay for drivers. So give yourself a little bit of extra time through there. 407 ETR drivers say they save 20 to 60 minutes per trip. 407 ETR manages traffic for an excellent driving experience.
Supposedly the Ontario Teachers
ETR.com.
Federation pension fund, whatever the fuck it's called,
through the day, the
owns
guaranteed high,
a
4
good
degrees,
chunk
some
of it.
snow beginning around 7 o'clock
forget if
tonight,
it's a
2 to 5
majority, but they're the
centimeters, the
biggest
low near
holders or some
0,
shit like
and
that.
for tomorrow, mainly
Used to
cloudy,
be a
windy,
fucking
some
Ford
flurries. We
company.
get into some lake effect snow, turning colder, gusty northwest wind, high near +1 in the morning, falling to -3 for the afternoon. Friday, some sunshine, but cold, the high just -8. For today, the guaranteed high +4.
Right now in downtown Toronto, 3 degrees. So we have a mostly cloudy sky at Pearson Airport. Same conditions.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, public elementary schools in Toronto and York region now set to hold a one-day strike on Monday if contract talks continue to stall. At the same time, the education minister announcing today that they will offer a subsidy for parents, especially with younger kids in daycares and other school-age children that may be affected by that job action.
What kind of verification we need to get to $60?
And they are in immediate danger. Police issue an Amber Alert. You'll hear this tone on your radio, television, or smartphone. This sound.
Apparently, I didn't get one on the TV either. Fuck, I didn't know that was supposed to happen. I got nothing. I didn't see a Facebook post. Nobody knocked on my door.
Please help. Amber Alerts are important. Please help us get home.
A message brought to you by the Ontario Association
You should get to a phone and call me. These guys aren't going to tell me,
You
honey.
need to know. Breaking news. A major political bombshell on the campaign trail. Traffic. FTO still
I got holes in my legs, holes in my legs.
Frozen seals as people avoid getting flat tires.
You don't need any rain gear this morning, but through the afternoon, make sure you have that umbrella handy.
When you need to know.
We're here.
This is 680 News.
680 News Time, 10:24. A 63-year-old family lawyer from Brampton has now been accused of defrauding 13 clients out of more than $3 million. Peel police allege the lawyer withheld money from estates and then refused to pay it out to the clients.
Because they can't stop you from getting the money if you fuck them up. They have to still give you the money because he's not who you inherited it from.
Believe there could be other victims, urging anyone with info to come forward. Well, coming up in 60 seconds, the day is finally
They're killing a guy for not moving out of your house. They can't just take the house and it's still your house.
Well, just about an hour.
They put you in jail. It's still your property.
Stay one step ahead of the
I
competition.
mean, I guess they
with
could
680
fucking,
News.
they can do whatever they want.
Chesterfield Shop. We
This
have been in
guy
business since 1948 and have 5 locations in and around the GTA selling contemporary leather and fabric seating. The Chesterfield Shop has been advertising for over 10 years with 680 News. We find that we are growing our ad dollars with them because the ads are
What if they do
most
take the money?
effective.
There's 12 other
People know
fucking
us,
people
they
getting their
trust
money
us,
back.
but we
That's
know
what
we have to keep a fresh face out there so that people will come and see what's new
I'd like
at
to
the
have 12
Chesterfield Shop.
people with money out there that got my back. To
These
fucking
days, when there's so many different
let some
options and
motherfucker steal my
opportunities
money.
in different media, we find that radio and 680 News in particular are very effective in getting across our message.
And 680 News helps
Steal
you
my
reach the
money.
customers
Fuck,
you're
you know, I
looking
do what I
for.
had to
680
go through to
News
get that money.
absolutely
It
brings in
wasn't
the right
much. Get the fuck
demographic
out
for
of
us.
here.
People who listen to the ads, they're invested in beautifying their homes and enhancing their lifestyle, and we think that it's a perfect match.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 10:26.
Time now for the 680 News Business Report. We're going to go live now to the Business Center with Chris McCusker. Chris, we've had a lot of talk over the last couple of months about U.S.-China trade, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
And today, though, is a bit of a banner day for all of this.
Yes, today is the day.
Everything
They're
I
going
buy
to
from
sign
China
phase
lasts
1 of the
forever,
U.S.-China
so
trade deal in about an hour.
I don't really
So
have to
ahead of that,
actively
the Dow is
avoid
up by
buying things from
126.
China.
The S&P up by 11, the NASDAQ higher by 28. Getting close to all-time highs
Americans. Now, we heard yesterday some tariffs will stay in place until November in order to ensure that Chinese remain compliant. U.S. National Economic Director Larry Kudlow spoke to CNBC about tariffs this morning.
All right, now, I'm not here to beat up China. I'm here to praise this arrangement, and I'm here to praise Chinese cooperation along with America.
Mexico.
I'm just saying the remedies were broad-based, and we've talked about this for 2 years
don't
now.
kid yourself.
So
The
the
chips
fact
came
that
from
China
China.
came to the negotiating table, yes, with tariffs, they came to the negotiating table with an enforceable agreement that shows that they understand they had to make reforms and changes.
It seems Target did not have a Merry Christmas. That stock is taking a beating today after word comparable store sales at the retailer fell well below the previous year at 1.4% versus an increase of 5.7%. A year ago, the company also cut its expectations for same-store sales growth for the entire quarter. Right now, shares in Target off by 5.8%. Now, the company also expressed
That's a good time to buy in because they sell stuff and they make money.
So shares in Hasbro down by 3.7%.
And they employ people. Right? They're shitty employees, but the money circulates. It's not a bad company.
TSX hit an intraday high. Right now, it's
no
up by
worse than any
24.
other.
17,377.
Sell made in
Lift
Japan.
is coming from the gold stocks.
Further
Time now
processed
for
in
the
China.
Express
I
Gold
don't know what that
Refining
means.
XAU.ca gold price update. Gold higher by $6, $15.50. Price for oil, though, is close to a 6-week low. Right now, it's down 24 cents, $57.99 a barrel. And then the Canadian dollar right now, higher by 76.63 cents U.S. So again, we've got modest gains on Wall Street ahead of the signing of U.S.-China trade phase 1. The Dow, the big winner in North America on a percentage basis, up by 0.4%, while the TSX hit an intraday high. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
I just switched my variable mortgage to a 2.54 fixed rate at Butler Mortgage.
I thought variable mortgages were always the way to go.
They were for 20 years, but not now. I was at 3.25%, switched to a 5-year fixed 2.54% at Butler Mortgage. Very easy process and saving thousands a year.
If you currently have a variable rate mortgage, Butler Mortgage is 2.54% 5-year fixed. Appraisal and legal fees are covered. License number 12118, 5-year fixed rate, APR 2.56%.
If you work hard and play harder, then the Covenant House Guts and Glory Team Obstacle Challenge is for you. This unique athletic fundraiser will help homeless youth while building team spirit and pushing individual limits. 45 teams of 6 will compete in the ultimate face-off. 10 top obstacles will test your speed, agility, strength, and power. You will feel the adrenaline. Do you have the guts? It's all about the glory.
Strength
Raise more
and
than your
power.
heart rate this February. Learn more
mean?
at
What's the difference between the two in that context?
Taking a look now at the Business Travelers forecast. If you're heading out to Vancouver today, chances of flurries and 1 in Calgary. A rough go. Mix the sun and cloud with a high today of minus 30. In Ottawa, chances of flurries and 0. New York City, partly cloudy and 11 degrees. Right now, downtown Toronto, it's mostly cloudy and a temperature of 3.
It's a 33-degree difference.
Me Too,
from there to
Super
here.
Sad
That's
Singh is the
crazy.
Midday Show editor. Mitch Burke is our digital editor. Amber LeBlanc, our news director. 680 News Time, 10:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Sarah Barrett and Steve Roberts.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 15th.
And good morning. Here's what's making news this hour.
With elementary teachers in Toronto and York region set to hit the picket line on Monday, the education minister is offering compensation to parents who will be affected.
As Toronto begins its budget process, students feel like they're being thrown under the bus.
We can't live with constant increases.
Saying they simply cannot afford the planned hike to TTC student fares.
Police have spoken to both drivers at the center of that shocking viral
You
video
tell us what the
showing
other
a
fucking
gravel
driver
truck
said, though.
shoving a car onto the shoulder of the 401.
Why did the other
truck driver
driver
claims he had no idea what was going on?
A scientific study no one asked for, but it's telling us at what age we're at our unhappiest.
Leafs roll over the Devils. Hat trick for Matthews.
What age
2
are you?
hoppers for Sandine. Raptors face the Thunder tonight. Sports at 45.
An intraday record on Bay Street. A big lift today coming from the marijuana sector, and U.S. markets moving higher with that U.S.-China trade deal set to be signed. Business
I don't
at
understand how they
56.
lose $40 million. with the license to sell weed.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Eva Fragiscatos. This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Well, some good news eastbound on the QEW east of Copper. Looks like those problems they had in the right lane, they've cleared away. It's still slow from Mississauga Road all the way through to east of Copper, but at least the problem has cleared. Eastbound 401 delays Mississauga Road to Mavis. After that, it looks really good. If you are using the eastbound 401 ramp to Kennedy, it looks like the right lane is blocked. That's all because of a stalled vehicle, so look out for that. Westbound side of the 401, no delays or problems at this time. Southbound on the 404 Don Valley Parkway, you'll find a delay from approaching Shepherd all the way through to south of Lawrence, and a bit of a delay getting onto the Gardner. On the eastbound Gardner Expressway, still slow east of the Humber Bridge all the way through to the Spadina ramp. And it looks like those issues that we had northbound Spadina and Lakeshore, they've all cleared away. 407 ETR drivers say they save 20 to 60 minutes per trip. 407 ETR manages traffic for an excellent driving experience. Visit 407etr.com. Next report is at 10:41. Here's a check on the forecast now with Jill Taylor.
Cloudy conditions for a good portion of the day. We'll get into the snow beginning around 7 o'clock tonight. 2 to 5 centimeters, the low near 0. For today, the guaranteed high 4.
And right now downtown, it's mostly cloudy and 3 degrees, and it looks like those same conditions over at Pearson. 680 News Time, 10:33.
We have breaking education news as some public high school teachers, including those in Durham, stage another walkout Wednesday today. We are now learning a one-day strike by some elementary teachers is looming. And with all this job action, the education minister is now offering help to parents.
680's Irene Precklett joining us live from Queen's Park this morning, where Stephen Lunche has just wrapped up a news conference. She brings us the latest there. Irene?
That's right, Steve. The education minister says this labor unrest should not have an impact on families, and parents should not be out of pocket. That's why his government is offering help.
So today I'm announcing our government's plan to offer parents up to $60 per day to offset the cost for childcare if strikes action, close schools, or school-based childcare.
This is why we owe $350 billion.
Children up to 12 or grade 7 in publicly funded schools are eligible for this support.
And a website that allows parents to get some of that cash is already running, ontario.ca/support for parents. As for the cost of this, if there is a full-blown strike, the cost could be up to $48 million per day. Reporting live at Queen's Park, Irene Precklett, 680 News.
680 News Time, 10:34. As Toronto begins its budget process for 2020, students across the city feel like they're being thrown under the bus with a hike to student TTC fares as part of the budget plan. Well, this morning, several students came to City Hall to speak out against this proposed hike, saying they simply can't afford it. 680's Momin Qureshi is at City Hall and joins us live with more. Momin.
Yeah, Sarah, their message is it's really expensive to be a student in this city when you add up all the costs. So hiking the student fare pass for the TTC is something that these students simply can't afford. Lucas Granger is with the U of T Student Union, and he says the costs to live in the city are just too tough to deal with.
We can't live with constant increases. We don't have stable incomes. Our loans hover over our heads, and we have to balance a full-time course load with full-time work at minimum wage. Who can blame us for taking shortcuts?
Now, the current cost of a TTC student pass is $122.40. The proposal is to jack that up by $5.70 a month. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for students who are dealing with things like tuition and books and transit and all those other things, they say it's just an extra fee that they cannot afford, citing that in places like Vancouver, the pass is actually only $41 a month, whereas here it's triple that. So these students say they understand that the city has a budget process, but they're asking the city to find different ways to deal with that. I'll be trying to speak with some people on the budget committee, which is meeting right now, to discuss the beginning processes of the city's 2020 budget to see if there are other alternatives than jacking up these student fares. Reporting live at City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
You're listening to 680 News. So the truck driver at the center of a viral video that shows him pushing a car across the 401 near Beatty.
Why didn't he call
says he was just changing lanes and didn't realize what happened. Here's 680's Mitch Burke.
We hear from him time and time again following incidents out on our roads, but even OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt was struggling to connect the dots.
The driver of that truck claims he didn't see what was happening in front of him as he was changing lanes.
The impact of the car getting squeezed between the truck and the guardrail was enough to cause the car's back bumper to fall right off. So far, no charges have been laid as the investigation continues. Schmidt also thanking the person who posted posted that dash cam video, a very handy modern tool for police forces everywhere.
Anyone with dash cam with interesting stories like this is always asked to call the police and identify what they've witnessed.
And in this case, Schmidt is hoping any more footage showing what may have happened moments before is out there, as it could be quite helpful. I'm Mitch Burke.
A 2-year-old boy found outside in the cold in Oshawa wearing nothing but a diaper has been reunited with his mother. 680's Kevin Meisner tells us what happened.
Police say the driver saw the young boy around 2 years of age wandering in the roadway just after 4 o'clock this morning here at Stevenson and Bond Street in Oshawa. The toddler was barefoot, only wearing a diaper. The temperature was just above the freezing mark at the time. Neighbors are questioning how this could happen.
I think it's ridiculous. I think that the parents should obviously focus more on keeping their door locked, right? Especially if your child's walking around. Should have some kind of fail-safe in place, I think.
Durham police say the child was cold, but otherwise is in good health. They located the child's mother. Mom and son reunited at the police station. The toddler and his family apparently don't live far from where he was found. A sergeant tells me this appears to be the case of an inquisitive toddler, not the result of negligence. In Oshawa, I'm Kevin Meisner.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. It's 10:37. We're following some breaking news out of Capitol Hill this morning, where House Democrats are now poised to set the wheels of impeachment in motion against U.S. President Donald Trump. Just a couple of moments ago, Speaker Nancy Pelosi announcing the names of 7 House Democrats who will serve as managers for the upcoming Senate trial. Pelosi says time, though, is of the essence.
To go to the floor to pass the resolution to transmit the articles of impeachment, and later in the day, when we have our engrossment, that we march those articles of impeachment to the United States Senate.
Now, the managers include Representative Adam Schiff of California, Jerry Nadler of New York, both very familiar with the political problems with the president. The trial is set to begin Tuesday. Not clear, though, yet if witnesses will be called to testify.
And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced this year's inductees.
On the one hand, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will be more diverse by inducting Whitney Houston and the Notorious B.I.G. On the other hand, are they rock and roll? This year's other inductees are the Doobie Brothers, Depeche Mode, 9 Inch Nails, and T-Rex. The Doobie Brothers are the only act to finish in the top 5 of the fan votes, behind the Dave Matthews Band and Pat Benatar, and ahead of Soundgarden and Judas Priest. Those votes were tallied with the music industry members' ballots. The May 2nd induction ceremony in Cleveland will be broadcast live for the first time on HBO. I'm Margie Zaraletta.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we will take a look at city streets and then find out where the price of gas is going.
680 News Time, 10:39.
Over 500,000 Canadians are currently living with Alzheimer's disease. How can you help? You can help by creating a team with friends, family, or coworkers and fundraising together for the 30th IG Wealth Management Walk for Memories in support of the Alzheimer's Society. On Saturday, February 1st, join the largest indoor walk in support of Alzheimer's disease in Toronto. Visit walk.alz.to for more information and to register. That's walk.alz.to. Together, we walk. City streets right now. Sherburne is closed from Bloor to Ancroft for bridge repairs and westbound Eglinton at Royal York. The left lane is blocked for construction. Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight. It'll hold at $1.15.9 a liter. 680 News Time, 10:40.
Does advertising with 680 News work? Well, things seem to be flowing well for Stan Cleany from Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service.
Things are going great. We've been so successful with our plumbing and drain part of the business, advertising on 680 News. We thought we'd advertise our new flood and sewer cleanup and restoration business.
And how is that working?
The phone's been ringing. We've seen a tremendous increase in our sales.
Speaking of sales, how do you like working with your account manager at 680 News?
He's helped us out in every avenue of the business. I should almost bring him on as an employee.
And how about all the writers and producers?
It's always difficult to get the message out to the public. The creative teams helped us out in many ways and helped us get to where we are today.
Well, it can't be easy to stay on top in today's competitive market.
Well, there's always competition, but we try to stay one step above them. The new advertising is working great, and we continue to be number 1 in the number 2 business. 680 News has really helped us. We are definitely flushed with success.
Unclog your bottom line and clean up the competition with 680 News. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS. That's 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 10:41. Time for traffic and weather together all the ones. Here's Eva Francescanos.
This report is brought to you by Enercare. We have ongoing delays if you're eastbound on the QEW at Red Hill Parkway. We've got the right lane closed off for some maintenance work. No real delay through there. But farther along on the eastbound QEW, it looks like it's still slow from Huron, Ontario, all the way through to Dixie. We had some earlier issues. They've all cleared, but again, the delays are still there. And then on the eastbound Gardner Expressway, you'll find that moving slowly as well from approaching Parkside right through to east of Dufferin. Eastbound 401 moves quite well right now. No delays or problems that I can see on our cameras. Southbound on the 404 Don Valley Parkway, just typical volume. South of Finch to south of Lawrence, no other issues through there. Looks like westbound Eglinton is moving quite slowly from approaching Sloan all the way through to about approaching Winford Drive. That looks to be volume related, and because of the construction that's going on through there, it's just extra busy through it today. And eastbound Eglinton also quite busy just past Winford Drive all the way through to Bermondsey. Again, that's all because of the construction that is going on in that area. Call the HVAC Whisperers at Enercare today and don't pay for 3 months on a new heating maintenance plan. No one understands your heating system better. Terms and conditions apply. Your next report is at 10:51. Here's a check on the forecast with Jill Taylor.
On the mild side for us today, cloudy conditions, a guaranteed high 4 degrees, will drop to 0 for the low. 2 to 5 centimeters of snow tonight, beginning around 7 o'clock this evening. And then tomorrow, turning a lot colder, falling temperatures for the afternoon after a morning high near +1. Be windy with some flurries in that northwest wind. For today, the guaranteed high 4.
Mostly cloudy in downtown Toronto. It is 4 degrees at Pearson Airport, cloudy and 3. 680 News Time, 10:43. Now the Scotia iTrade Market Minute, live from the Business Centre. Here's Chris McCusker.
Well, Sarah, the TSX hit an intraday high. It's up by 40 points, 17,393. And we've also got intraday highs on the Dow and the S&P. The Dow up by 165, the S&P up by 9, and the NASDAQ has come to within 4 points of its intraday high, up by 44. U.S.-China trade phase 1 set to be signed in about 45 minutes. Price for gold right now higher by $6, $15.51. Oil down 53 cents, 57.71 a barrel. And the Canadian dollar higher, but just by 3/100ths. 76.59 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
I'm Scott McGilvery. Selling a home can be complicated. In Toronto, I trust Frank Leo to get you top dollar for your most prized possession. His industry-leading marketing strategy gives your home maximum exposure. Go to getleo.com today. That's getleo.com and start packing.
The winter sales event is on at Mercedes-Benz Durham with exclusive offers on 2020 models. Lease a 2020 GLC 300 4MATIC SUV equipped with premium and sport package from $696 per month with zero down, or find special savings on all demo models. And existing Mercedes-Benz customers receive an additional 1% lease or finance rate reduction. Mercedes-Benz Durham, 2019 Star Dealer, 20 minutes east of the DVP. Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
When it comes to getting the most money for your home in Toronto, I trust the industry-leading marketing strategy of Frank Leo. I'm Scott McGilvery. Selling a home doesn't have to be complicated. Get what your home is worth. Go to getleo.com today. That's getleo.com and start packing.
Thank God for the fucking news. Sewage treatment plant was causing strange gas smell.
Cloudy sky in downtown Toronto. It's 4 degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour. On the same day as some public high school teachers stage another walkout Wednesday, the union representing elementary teachers says it is planning a one-day walkout at 3 boards this coming Monday. They include Toronto and York Region. Meantime, the education minister says the Ford government will give money to parents affected by these strikes, with compensation for childcare ranging from $25 to $60 per day of missed school. It's expensive to be a student in Toronto. That from a group of students who showed up at City Hall today to protest a hike to student TTC fares, which is part of the city's 2020 budget. The increase works out to be over $5 more per month, an extra fee the students say they just can't afford. Time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Andrew Nye.
Sarah, some breaking news out of Vegas this morning. Losers have 4 in a row, but still only 3 points out of first place in the Pacific. The Golden Knights have fired head coach Gerard Gallant. They've replaced him with former Sharks coach Pete DeBoer. Vegas opened an 8-game road trip last night with a 4-2 loss in Buffalo. They're in Ottawa tomorrow. Game 1 of that Morgan Riley went well for the Leafs, but if you ask Brian Burke, there are big skates to fill.
It's not can you replace Morgan Riley, it's who replaces him and what does he give you? What percentage of Morgan Riley do you get? And last night, Rasmus Sandin looked great. But when he played his first 5 or 6 games this year, he didn't look so hot.
Sandin had 2 assists in the Leafs' 7-4 win over the Devils. Austin Matthews scored 3 goals. Leafs home to the Flames tomorrow. Second and final meeting between the Raptors and Thunder goes tonight in Oklahoma City. Tip-off just after 8. Rams glad to have Marc Gasol back for this one. Free agent third baseman Josh Donaldson has reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $92 million deal with the Minnesota Twins. The deal reportedly includes a 5th-year option. And the Arizona Cardinals are giving receiver Larry Fitzgerald a 1-year extension through 2020. Ian Rappaport said it's worth about $11 million with incentives. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or any time on the home of Timmins, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
You're catering a wedding, and the bride says,
everyone is raving about the hors d'oeuvres. My aunt was asking if you do corporate events.
You look down across all those guests. Your smile beams, your heart pounds. This is the moment when the right business card is essential, and Vistaprint can help. Right now, we're introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. So now imagine that same wedding, but this time, you're ready to own the now with a stack of business cards that are as enticing as your entrees. And Vistaprint caters to any small business. You choose the paper, the shape, and the finish. Go with a square card, or maybe one with rounded corners and a metallic finish. Whatever your style, create a card that gives you the confidence to make the most of every opportunity. Because either you let things happen, or you make things happen. Start now at Vistaprint.ca and get free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. Use promo code 6262 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.ca, promo code 6262. Limited time only.
This is All News Radio 680 News. It's 10:48. Gunplay in a quiet residential neighborhood of Richmond Hill has neighbors on edge today. 680's Carl Hansky joins us from near the scene in the Major Mack and Young area.
Carrybrook Drive is a beautiful tree-lined street here in Richmond Hill, and residents are angry that gunmen opened fire outside their houses.
You can hit anyone. My kids sleep in this bedroom here. A bullet could hit them. This is ridiculous.
3 suspects in a car opened fire at another car, which residents say resulted in a high-speed chase.
The car went up the street very, very fast, and then another car was after it.
The victim's black Audi with bullet holes in it ended up going off the road and broadsiding an SUV in a driveway. The 39-year-old victim hurt, then got out and ran and started banging on doors, yelling for help. The gunman took off. Police say this is a targeted shooting, and luckily, no innocent lives were lost. In Richmond Hill, I'm Carl Hansky.
680 News Time, 10:49. Well, a new study has seemingly figured out when we are at our unhappiest. Here's our Jeff Verholman with the details.
Like, who wants this? Who wants to know when we are unhappiest, when we're approaching our unhappiest? Yeah, this was done by a professor at Dartmouth, finding a midlife crisis is real, and people here are at peak unhappy at 47 years of age. Why 47? Well, according to this study, that's the age people realize their dreams aren't coming true. Jeez. But also things like kids have probably moved out, you're not quite at retirement age, and mortgages. Good news, though, the study finds happiness goes up as we get closer to 60. That's good, right, Mike Epple?
I'm on the rebound from a happiness trough, but still, get off my lawn.
Yeesh. I'm Jeff Verholman.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check in with traffic and weather. 680 News Time, 10:50.
Hi, it's Ivanka Osmak. Normally, I'm a sports anchor for Sportsnet, but today I'm spreading the news about Sleep Country's Aqua Gel Pillow. To be honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I'm glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally embraced when I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend a great pillow to you. Plus, right now, when you buy one Aquagel pillow, you get a second Aquagel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country or order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
680 News Time, 10:51.
Time for traffic and weather together, all the ones. Here's Eva Francescanos. This report is brought to you by Queen's MBA in Toronto. Right now, if you're using that East QEW, it's still slow from Pure Ontario to Dixie, but there are no problems through there at this time. Eastbound Gardner Expressway, that's still busy from Parkside towards Dufferin. On the east and west 401 across the GTA right now, not spotting any major issues. Eastbound 401, the ramp to Kennedy, it looks like the right lane is still closed off because of a stalled vehicle, so just look out for that. And westbound 401 at Harmony Road, we've got the left lane closed. That is all because of construction. You will find it slow westbound on the 401 as you make your way through that Harmony construction road construction area. So it is slow from Harmony all the way through to about just west of Ritson. So again, leave yourself some extra time on that route because of the construction. And then you'll still find delays at 404 GBP from Shepherd all the way through to south of Lawrence. Earn your MBA from Queen Smith School of Business right here in Toronto. Find out more at smithmbaintoronto.com. Next report is at 11:01. Here's the extended forecast with Still Taylor.
Mild for one more day. It will be colder tomorrow. The guaranteed high today, 4 degrees. It'll be cloudy for most of the day. We get into that snow beginning around 7 o'clock tonight, 2 to 5 centimeters. The lower amounts, even trace amounts downtown near the lake, may mix with a little bit of rain. Higher amounts, the 5 centimeters for the northern GTA, 0 for the low. Again, that snow beginning around 7 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow, mainly cloudy, windy, turning colder, northwest wind, quite gusty, and we'll have the flurries tomorrow morning, high 1, falling to -3 for the afternoon. Sunshine Friday, but cold, the high just -8. For today, the guaranteed high, 4.
Right now downtown, it's overcast and 4 degrees. We got overcast conditions and 3 at Pearson.
And coming up at the top of the hour, the latest on elementary teachers in Toronto and York Region set to the picket line on Monday as their union launches rotating strikes next week. Today's announcement comes as some public high school teachers stage another walkout Wednesday. And the education minister now offering compensation to parents who will be affected by these strikes.
680 News Time, 10:53.
Why shop the box stores for a new garage door when you've got Dodds Garage Doors available? Dodds has been serving the GTA and you with well-priced garage doors and openers for over 60 years, offering the Dodds exclusive Platinum Series and other quality brands like CHI overhead doors. Contact Dodds, DODDS, or Dodds 24/7 emergency repair service at DoddsDoors.com. Remember, no one does it better than Dodds does. No one!
Alexa, what station has the best breaking news, traffic, and weather?
680 News, obviously. 680 News Time, 10:54. A contestant has won a multi-night primetime event to become the greatest Jeopardy player of all time.
Ken Jennings, you are the champion.
Jeopardy host Alex Trebek congratulating the 45-year-old software engineer turned author. Jennings had already made Jeopardy history by winning the most regular season games in a row.
Taken 15 years for Ken Jennings to finally answer the question, is he as good as he appeared to be in that great run on Jeopardy?
Jennings goes home to Seattle $1 million richer after beating James Halsauer and Brad Rutter in the three-weight battle to be the best ever, and will now be known as
the greatest of all time.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Coming up in 60 seconds, the marijuana stocks are helping Bay Street hit an all-time high today.
680 News Time, 10:55.
Something's always coming up. Home improvements, kids' education, car repairs, credit card bills. Maybe you even saw a real deal on an investment property. Well, don't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Call Northwood Mortgage and start taking care of business. Use your home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See why Canadians have turned to Northwood Mortgage for over a quarter of a century. Northwood Mortgage. Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com. License 10349.
Absolutely incredible. That's what you'll say when visiting Royal Lighting's huge Midtown showroom and see the fabulous savings on hundreds upon hundreds of the latest lighting styles. Royal Lighting features the best styles in chandeliers, floor and table lamps, wall and ceiling fixtures, ceiling fans, vanity and outdoor lighting. Royal Lighting's professionally trained staff will help you find the perfect light at the perfect price. Perfect price. Royal Lighting, 1549 Avenue Road, north of Lawrence.
680 News Time, 10:56.
Now the 680 News Business Report brought to you by Quest Trade. Here's Chris McCusker. Well, Sarah, U.S.-China trade phase 1 set to be signed in about half an hour. The Dow and the S&P have hit intraday highs. The NASDAQ coming to within a point of its intraday high. The Dow right now up by 166, the S&P higher by 12, and the NASDAQ higher by 44. And we found out yesterday that the U.S.-China trade deal hinges on China staying compliant. And to keep that in check, some tariffs will remain in place, which does make some sense because China is not exactly known for following the rules. Paul Ashworth is Chief North America Economist at Capital Economics.
What we've got here is a limited, as they're calling it, a phase 1 agreement. The U.S. rolls back some tariffs. China agrees to buy more U.S. goods and services over the next couple of years. But it's not the sort of complete agreement that, as you say, would tackle some of the problems other countries have had with China as far as intellectual property protections and Chinese subsidies to nationalized firms as well, that sort of thing.
Now, the TSX also hit an intraday high. Right now, it's up by 38, 17,391, and there is a boost coming from the healthcare stocks. Shares in Organogram up by 33%, $3.75. The cannabis producer is expecting big things from consumers as far as the edibles market goes. Company figures that will boost revenues even further. In the first quarter, revenue jumped to $25.2 million, and the net loss worked out to $863,000 compared to $29.5 million in the prior year. Price for gold right now up by $6, $15.50. Oil down 80 cents, $57.43 a barrel. The latest supply data in the U.S. did show a drawdown of 2.5 million barrels. And the Canadian dollar right now is higher by a tenth of a cent, 76.65 cents U.S. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
Hey, the bank called today about our RSP contributions.
I thought we decided to move them over to Quest Trade.
Well, we've got a lot on our plate right now.
We can't wait another year.
This story is fucked up. Sunwing continues to book Cuban resort after GTA woman allegedly assaulted by staff. But it gets fucked up. A GTA woman says her ordeal at a Cuban vacation resort is highlighting the lack of recourse Canadians have if they are sexually assaulted while staying at a resort. When you're out of the fucking country, there's not much they can do for you. On December 14th, Emily and her fiance embarked on a getaway they booked with Sunwing Vacations at the 3.5 star. Thank you. I need to know how many stars it has. The 3.5 star. Well, that'll drop shortly. Memories Veradero Beach Resort in Cuba. City News is only identifying Emily by her first name to protect her privacy. I wouldn't have noticed till you pointed that out. The next night, the couple had a disagreement, and Emily took some time to herself at the resort's beach. She fell asleep on a chair by the water, and when she woke up, she said there was a man on top of her. Quote, he had one hand on my mouth, and he was trying to get me to be quiet. She said, I felt this other hand up my dress, and he was trying to take off my underwear. She said she scanned the man's face and realized he was a resort employee as he was wearing the same t-shirt as staff. She said the man didn't expect for her to be strong and sober when she began fighting back. Quote, I pushed him as hard as I could, I kicked him as hard as I could, and then I ran for my life. You should stab the motherfucker up, man. The 29-year-old told City News she didn't stop running until she got back to her hotel room where she collapsed in the hallway without her room key. Another guest saw her and walked her to the front lobby where she said she placed an incident report. She was also reunited with her fiancé who had been out looking for her. She said she told front desk staff, the customer service agent, and the security guard what happened. Staff spoke Spanish, and she said she had difficulty communicating with them. So she was asked to write everything that had happened on a piece of paper. What the fuck? She also said she told staff members that she could identify the employee that had attempted to rape her, but staff didn't offer anything to comfort her or to track the man down. Blue Diamond Resorts, which owns Memories Veradero, told City News support was provided to Emily as soon as she filed a report with hotel staff. Quote, this included an offer to contact the police and obtain medical assistance, the resort spokesperson wrote in a statement. The incident was documented in a report along with our response. Emily and her fiancé decided they wanted to cut their vacation short, collect their things, and leave the resort immediately. No, you should have locked the door and refused to leave. And then fucking reverse the charges and report all your shit. So I would fuck with these people if it was me. Emily said they went to their room and packed their things. When they came back downstairs, they say the reception staff talked them out of leaving. Quote, they told us to go back in the room, she said. In all of that commotion, we left my purse at the front lobby. It had our wallets, my cell phone, our passports, our tickets, the visas we had to fill out to get into the country, our insurance. Everything that was in the safe was in that bag because we wanted to leave. When she returned to the front desk, she said staff told her that her bag wasn't there. The following morning, Emily got a call from the security desk. The front office had their passports, which had been in a Ziploc bag, secured inside her purse. The spokesperson from Blue Diamond Resorts told City News the passports were turned into the hotel, into, you motherfuckers, the hotel's front desk after they were found on the beach, and they were returned to Emily without any conditions. However, Emily alleges she had to give something up in return. Quote, they had our passports but wouldn't give them to me until I had filled out a report saying I wasn't pressing charges, Emily said. I was literally in survival mode. I'll do whatever at that point to get my passports. City News asked Blue Diamond Resorts if it was aware of the document Emily said she signed. The spokesperson said they have a copy but were not releasing it to protect Emily's privacy. That's fucked up. Emily said she then met with the head of security and Sunwing's on-site representative to go over the remaining missing items and her assault allegations. She said, they're coming here, eh? They're going to get louder and louder. Oh, yeah, they just parked right up front. Fuck. That's a fire truck. She said they told her there wasn't any proof she submitted a complaint the night before, and there wasn't any surveillance footage showing Emily at the front desk making a report. Believing that there was no security footage, Emily and her boyfriend weren't sure what to do. She said the Sunwing representative implied that without any footage, they wouldn't be received credibly by police. Quote, both of us felt immediately that something was being covered. That's coming right here. I was going to get louder for a second. Somebody fucking overdosing. Some shit. Quote, both of us felt immediately that something was being covered up, she said, so the couple focused on trying to get back to Canada. Emily alleges that the Sunwing representative said that it would take days to make arrangements and would cost the couple whose wallets were still missing. The couple ended up leaving the resort without filing any reports. Back home in Canada, Emily posted about her experience on TripAdvisor as a warning to other travelers. The resort's general manager posted a response that implied Emily was rude to staff when reporting her assault. Their post said Emily's characterization of events is unfair. The allegations of sexual assault are, quote, treated by our staff with rigor, which is a strange way to phrase that, and, quote, our highest value is the welfare of our guests, end quote. That post has since been removed and replaced with a new message from management which takes a different tone. Quote, we regret the original response you received on this platform and have since deleted our post, the new statement reads. The general manager also invited Emily to contact the resort directly so they can give her the best possible assistance. Emily said she had already reached out to the resort multiple times. The spokesperson from Blue Diamond Resorts told City News that staff documented Emily's statement and provided support, but the chain admits following their correspondence with her, there may have been some issues along the way. Quote, after reviewing Emily's recent correspondence upon her return home, there has clearly been a breakdown in communications, and we are fully cooperating with all parties, but that's another strange way to phrase it, to ensure that this matter is further investigated. You didn't say police, though. The email statement reads, quote, Memories Veradero has detailed policies in place to ensure that sensitive issues are dealt with swiftly and appropriately. Sensitive. City News asked for clarification and more details about those policies. We also asked if staff followed proper procedure when Emily filed the report. Quote, who files a report with a resort? What are you talking about? Don't they have police stations in this country? And if they don't, can't you find somebody to help you handle this issue? Quote, our policy requires staff to provide support to anyone who comes forward with a complaint, including assisting in filing a police report if the customer consents, the spokesperson wrote. In this case, our records indicate that we did offer assistance, but we did not receive consent and therefore are prohibited from contacting police. You can't, what? We also asked the resort company on numerous occasions if the employee accused of sexually assaulting Emily was identified and what other actions have been taken. However, the resort did not address these questions. The spokesperson adds that they are cooperating with local authorities in the event Emily chooses to pursue a police investigation. Right. However, the 29-year-old said she's disappointed by the resort's response because it isn't an accurate description of what transpired on that night. She said she was forced to choose between calling police to file a report and getting her passports back so the couple could go home. I would have jumped over that fucking counter. Oh, we have them. You call me to tell me you have them and then play a game like that. You're giving them to me because they're not yours or mine. They belong to my government. I'm fucking gonna go military on your ass. You're stealing government property, motherfucker. The fact that it was completely disregarded and invalidated was like being re-traumatized again, like someone saying it didn't happen and you can't prove it, Emily says. Emily and her fiance booked their vacation by a popular airline, Sunwing, which provides vacation packages to Canadians looking for a sunny getaway. Deals for the Memories Veradero Beach Resort still appear on the site without any warnings to travelers. Emily said she received little support from the Sunwing representative, and the airline took a considerable amount of time to get back to her when she filed. That's got to be the ambulance or the police. When she filed a complaint online and over the phone, only emailing her back last week. Sunwing declined to do an interview with City News, but provided a statement apologizing to Emily for her experiences and saying they will be launching an investigation into how, quote, this was handled by our team in destination. We have robust what does that mean? In destination. We have robust policies and procedures in place to deal with violence and sexual assault, including assisting customers with reporting incidents to the authorities, offering medical assistance, modifying travel arrangements, and serving as a language interpreter if required. Really? Sunwing's statement reads, we want to underscore that whenever a guest experiences violence or sexual assault, our policy is always to accommodate their needs. Shouldn't it be to call the fucking cops or something? How often does this happen? That your back-asswards fucking resort in the middle of shithole country has policies on sexual assault. The spokesperson also adds that there's no record that Emily wanted to leave early, but there is record of her declining to speak with police or receiving medical attention, adding that their, quote, destination teams, end quote, need consent to reach out to them. These are claims Emily denies. The airline said that will also be part of the investigation. Remember, airlines, 23 airlines went bankrupt last year, so this will just be number one for this year if it happens. There's nothing behind those companies. They're all competing with each other on price, and they all have to pay the same pipers. So it makes no sense. Sunwing's statement ends by stating that the company has zero tolerance for sexual assaults, and if an employee is found guilty, they would be immediately terminated. If they're found guilty, but you don't. Emily explains how in the moment she realized she was about to be raped, her mind quickly shifted back to a time she couldn't fight back. She said it also happened while on vacation in Cuba. When she was 19 years old, Emily said she was raped and she didn't report it. Quote, I froze the first time. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. It just happened, she told City News. This time around, when she woke up with a man on top of her on the beach chair, she fought back. I said, not again. This isn't happening again, she said. He picked the wrong person to try and take advantage of, that's for sure. Why don't you have a knife? As a survivor, Emily said she wants to share her story to give others strength. She has already posted a first-hand account of her story to social media and received messages from 2 women who say they were also sexually assaulted by resort staff down south. One woman shared that she was a minor at the time. Quote, I hope it empowers myself and other women that have been through it and maybe encourages other women to speak about it and realize it's not your fault, Emily said. No matter if you're drinking, wearing a short dress, or if you went down to the beach by yourself, that's not consent or invitation to be assaulted. And there's statements from companies that I'm not going to read because they're not paying me to be their fucking spokesperson. So, fuck them. You got a rapist on your team and you're not handling that quickly, that means you all fucking sympathizing with rape. So, I don't think I'm going to fly with you or go sleep in your fucking house. That's just me. Come on, mattress in the road. Mattress on the 401. Come on.
Most of the volume has eased off. Definitely a lighter commute today than we usually see. And some good news, eastbound 401, the Ram to Kennedy, the problem has just cleared. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates, chartered professional accountants. Call from your mobile now at Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. Next report is at 11:21. Here's the forecast with Jill Taylor.
Cloudy for Toronto and the GTA, and then snow tonight, beginning around 7 o'clock this evening, 2 to 5 centimeters. Our guaranteed high +4, the low near 0. For tomorrow, mainly cloudy, windy, turning colder. Some flurries will have falling temperatures tomorrow. For today, the guaranteed high 4.
And right now downtown, it's mostly cloudy and 4 degrees. We got mostly cloudy conditions and 3 over at Pearson. 680 News Time, 11:13. Now time for the Scotia iTrade Market Minute. Let's check into the business center and see how things are going with Chris.
Well, we've still got gains on both sides of the border, Steve. In fact, all indices in North America have hit intraday highs. The NASDAQ, the last to join the party. Right now it's up by 30 points. The S&P up by 13. And the Dow higher by 132. We are still waiting on the signing of phase 1 of that U.S.-China trade deal. And the big gainer ahead of that, on a percentage basis, the Dow, it's up by about 0.5%. An intraday high on Bay Street as well, the TSX higher by 27, 17,379. Gold is up by $5, $15.49. Oil close to a 6-week low, it's down 72 cents. 57.51 a barrel, and the Canadian dollar up by 8,176.64 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
Every 3 minutes, a Canadian will be diagnosed with cancer. In February alone, that's over 17,000 people. Or enough to fill a hockey arena. Sign up for DriveFed today and raise funds for people affected by cancer in support of the Canadian Cancer Society. Giving up alcohol for a month might seem tough, but it will help people facing the biggest challenge of their lives. Visit drivefed.ca and sign up today.
My New Year's resolutions? Eat healthy, spend more time together. Oh, and pick up the kids on time.
What about snorkeling, flying trapeze, water skiing, and fine dining?
I'd love that, but it takes so much planning.
All you have to do is relax, honey. It's all included at Club Med.
I'm already unwinding.
Let's upgrade our New Year's resolutions. 7-night air-inclusive, starting at $16.49 per adult. Booked by January 15th with your travel professional.
You're not going to hear no Sunwing ads ever again. You're going to hear Club Med ads.
This is all news radio.
This is the time for all these other companies to advertise.
Right now in downtown Toronto. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast
This is the
Center.
time to kick them right over the head of the fucking
Parents hear the
cliff.
top stories this hour.
Public elementary schools in Toronto and York region will hold a one-day strike on Monday. That if contract talks continue to stall out with the province. The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario says the key issues are more supports for students. The government, though, maintaining the unions are simply looking for additional compensation for themselves. Meantime, the Education Minister announcing today they will offer a subsidy for parents with younger children in daycare of up to $60 a day and between $25 and $40 a day for other students who may be affected by the ongoing strike action. Now time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Andrew Nye. Andrew.
Shake up in Vegas, Steve. The Golden Knights have fired head coach Gerard Gallant and given the job to Pete DeBoer. Vegas 24-19-6 following a fourth straight loss last night, but still only 3 points out of first place. Here's how Hockey Central's Anthony Stewart sees it.
Too early now to be firing a coach thinking that that's going to put you over the top. They got a good roster, but it's just that tight in the Pacific where I think that move is probably a little bit early, and that's something you address, I think, in the offseason. But I understand it just due with the embarrassment of original coaches that are on the sidelines right now.
The Golden Knights will continue their road trip tomorrow in Ottawa. Maple Leafs work out at noon. Jake Muzzin skated on his own this morning. Toronto home to Calgary tomorrow night. Raptors are in Oklahoma City tonight to face Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the surprise Thunder. Toronto welcomes back Marc Gasol after 12 games. He's expected to come off the bench with Serge Ibaka playing so well. Game time just after 8 o'clock. This morning, the Raptors waived guard Shamori Pons, and Denis Shapovalov has reached the quarters of the ASB Classic in Auckland. He beat fellow Canadian Vasek Pospisil 6-4, 7-6 overnight, and will now take on Ugo Humbert. Sport to 15 and 45 past every hour or any time in the home of Tim Ensign, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
24-hour gaming excitement awaits you at Casino Ajax. Test your luck on over 900 of your favorite slot machines and 50 electronic table games. Hungry? We have daily dining specials from 4 to 11 p.m. at spectacular prices, including T-bone steak on Wednesdays, prime rib and 2 lobster tails on Thursdays and Fridays, or shrimp and steak on Sundays. Must be 19 plus. Winner Circle Rewards membership required. If you gamble, play smart. Casino Ajax. A new series on CBC.
These are the 3 Marines you killed last night. As of today, you belong to me.
Am I being arrested? Depends on what? On me. A soldier makes a deadly mistake, and his only hope for freedom is to become a spy.
We want the good people of Canada to be afraid of activists and draft dodgers.
Earn their trust.
You know, when this is over, we're done with you.
Yeah, but will I be done with you? Fortunate Son. New episode tonight at 9 on CBC and CBC Gem.
680 News Time, 11:18.
Breaking news from south of the border this morning. The impeachment trial of U.S. President Donald Trump now one step closer to reality. Speaker Nancy Pelosi naming 2 House chairmen who led the inquiry as now prosecutors for Trump's Senate trial. They are Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff and Judiciary Chair Jerry Nadler. Pelosi calling today an important day, saying it's about the Constitution of the United States. Schiff and Nadler, though, will lead a 7-member team that will include a diverse selection of lawmakers, especially those with some courtroom experience. Well, an iconic rock artist is now heading to court.
You probably don't know the name Michael Lee Aday, but you undoubtedly know the music. The entertainer known as Meatloaf was hosting a question and answer session in a hotel at DFW Airport last May. He fell off the stage. Court documents say the 72-year-old suffered career-ending injuries to his neck, collarbone, and shoulder, and spent 42 days in the hospital. He's suing the hotel and the promoter of the speaking event. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
680 News Time, 11:19. Well, the estranged father of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, could be called as a defense witness in her lawsuit against a British newspaper. Meghan is suing the Daily Mail on Sunday and its parent company for publishing a personal letter that she wrote to her father, Thomas Markle. Court papers reveal the newspaper will rely on evidence from Thomas Markle and argue the existence of the letter was in the public domain. The documents came to light this week amid a firestorm of attention that followed Meghan and Prince Harry's decision to step back from their royal roles and move to this country part-time. Well, coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have a look at traffic and your extended forecast.
Sell drugs here for a few months and
A
then
wise
go
man
hang out
once
wherever the
said
fuck they
to
want
treat
the
your
rest of
body
the
like a
time. I don't know if
temple.
they're gonna do
But what did he say about the temple you call home? Just like your body, only the best
Where
will
are
do
they?
for
The
your
downtown
home.
east
And
side of
Appliance
Vancouver.
Canada brings you
Why?
premium and
The
ultra-premium
fuck business they
brands
have
with the
there?
quality and craftsmanship you'd expect from the top names. Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, Miele, Gaggenau, Heston, and more. Backed by highly trained associates eager to help. Upgrade with Appliance Canada. Find a showroom in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga at appliancecanada.com.
There's winter, and then there's Windterra. Windterra doesn't just bring rain, but freezing rain. Not just sleet, but the slushiest of sleet. And most of all, Windterra brings snow days, which means you have to take the kids into work. No! Make it stop! Bring on winter in a Subaru. Hurry in for great rates from 0.99% at your Ontario Subaru dealer.
680 News Time, 11:21.
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones. Checking that drive this morning. Here's Eva Francescanos.
This report is brought to you by New Life Fertility Center. Overall, not a bad drive on the major routes right now. If you are using the westbound 401 through Oshawa from Harmony to west of Ritson, you will find delays through there, and that's because the left lane is closed off for some maintenance work. Eastbound on the 401, not seeing any delays at all right now across the GTA. If you're east on the QEW or the Gardner, again, it looks good. Same with the 403, southbound 410 out of Brampton, not spotting any issues. 400 north and southbound, again, looks pretty good. And if you're on the 404, southbound DVP, it's slow from the 401 to south of Lawrence. North 404, just around Highway 7, we've got reports of a pylon across the lanes, bouncing around across the lane, so do look out for that. I have notified MTO about it. 9-5 from Bloomington to Aurora, that remains closed
You go
because
into
of
like
construction.
slalom mode and try
Get
to
the
go around
GTA's
it.
lowest cost complete IVF for $6,900 at New Life Fertility. Save $3,100. Conditions apply. Visit newlifefertility.com. Your next report is at 11:31. Here's the extended forecast with Jill Taylor.
Cloudy through the day, the guaranteed high 4 degrees, some snow beginning
Wow,
around
how do you lose
7
a
o'clock
pylon?
tonight, 2 to 5 centimeters, the low near 0. And for tomorrow, mainly cloudy, windy, some flurries. We get into some lake effect snow, turning colder, gusty northwest wind, high near +1 in the morning, falling to -3 for the afternoon. Friday, some sunshine, but cold, the high just -8. For today, the guaranteed high +4.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is 4 degrees. We have a mostly cloudy sky at Pearson Airport. Same conditions.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll have the very latest from Queen's Park, where the education minister announcing today that the government will offer a subsidy for parents, especially with younger children who may be affected by rotating strikes by teachers. And it comes as public elementary schools in Toronto and York region will now be holding a one-day strike as of Monday. Details ahead from our Irene Precklett down at Queen's Park.
680 News Time, 11:23.
Some live to ski, others ski to live. Introducing Bluemont. Blue Mountain Chalet living on 60-foot executive lots. Steps from the mountain. A lifetime of memories awaits you and your family. Chalets from $890,000. For more information or directions to our sales office, visit Fremont.com.
Winter in Toronto. Season of freezing, bitter cold. Slushy, messy, slippery, slow commutes.
Barely
You
not.
need to know the latest winter traffic and weather. Trust 680 News. We know winter in Toronto. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the ones. This is 680 News and 680news.com.
And this portion of 680 News brought to you today by Aaron Park Toyota. A Nova Scotian chocolate maker who came to this country as a Syrian refugee will become a Canadian citizen today. Tariq Haddad is the founder of Peace by Chocolate in Antigonish, which opened in 2016. Now, his family made chocolates in Syria for more than 20 years, but their factory was destroyed in a bombing that forced them to leave the country. Haddad will take part in a citizenship ceremony at Pier 21 in Halifax later on this morning. Well, coming up in 60 seconds, we've got Chris McCusker standing by at the 680 Business Center, where markets have hit some all-time highs. She's got details coming coming up.
Excruciating news time, 11:25.
Aaron Park.
Steve, how did the Aaron Park Toyota staff make you feel?
Oh, you know what? When I walk in, they are smiling and they are really attending the details. Aaron Park actually make me feel like I'm a member of the family, and I feel the comfort and I feel the love.
Okay, now it can't get any better than that.
Aaron Park. It's time to Toyota. Get 0.49% finance rates up to 48 months on all new 2020 Corollas, all with Toyota Safety Sense. Aaron Park. It's hard to argue with smart investments like owning property. This winter, take your vacation a step further and consider purchasing that ski condo you've always dreamt of. Whether it's investing in property or increasing the value of your own home with a renovation, put your money in the right places. If you'd like $20, $30, or even $300,000, Capital Direct can help. Call Capital Direct at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL and see what's available for you. CapitalDirect.ca.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You could win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
Excruciating news time, 11:26.
Time now for the 680 News Business Report. We're going to go live now to the Business Center with Chris McCusker. Chris, for us to keep saying that markets are hitting an all-time high, we're almost sounding like a broken record because it is nothing but good news, it seems.
Absolutely. Intraday highs, Steve, on both sides of the border. The TSX was the first to get there. Right now it's up by 36, 17,389. The Dow is higher by 146, the S&P up by 10, and the NASDAQ, the last to join the party, it's higher by 34. We are minutes away from the U.S. and China signing the Phase 1 trade deal, and it actually leaves some of the bigger issues to Phase 2, which might not be as dramatic. Paul Ashworth is Chief North America Economist at Capital Economics.
I think this will be slightly less important. I mean, the big thing is not so much what's in the Phase 1 agreement, it's the fact that it takes some of the downside risks off the table, in particular that the US and China would just continue with this sort of tit-for-tat raising tariffs on one another. And certainly where we were last August and September, we really didn't know where this was going to end.
Now, earnings in from two more U.S. banks today. Shares in Goldman Sachs hit a one-year high, $249.50. Now, the bank says its fourth quarter profits dropped 24% from a year earlier. Now, part of the reason is legal expenses around the 1MDB scandal in Malaysia. The stock actually started the day lower, and as it stands right now, it's a little off its high. Still up by $1.53, $247.19. Over at Bank of America, profits there down by 4% from a year ago, as that bank was impacted by the rapid decline of interest rates. Now, it did beat on profit expectations, but that stock is down 2.3%, $34.50 a share. Here's the thing. Both of these banks really had pretty high expectations to live up to after pretty much a blowout from JP Morgan, where profits hit records. Price for gold right now higher by $6, $15.50. We've got oil close to a 6-week low. Now it's down about 1% right now, 57.65. And then the Canadian dollar is higher by 9/100, 76.65 cents US. So again, intraday highs on both sides of the border ahead of the signing of Phase 1 of the U.S.-China trade deal. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
You don't buy office chairs from the back of a truck, get suits from the Dollar Mart. Reuse yesterday's coffee, buy an office that's falling apart. You don't hire an intern as your CEO, raccoons to clear your trash. Treat clients to a fast food lunch, you dial up to save some cash. You get what you pay for. So be careful what you choose. Use your original HP toner. You just can't lose. 100% reliable, environmentally responsible. Always trust original HP toner. Let's go, kids.